Stegosaurus. Stegs here. Why Avowed sucks. And this isn't a video to bitch and moan or hate the game because I like games. I like hearing about the process of making games, and at some point in my life, I wanted to be a game dev. And you never really want to see a project with good potential go down the shitter like this one. It sucks whenever something sucks, and for this game, it's just disappointing. And this take isn't pertaining to any he said, she said drama of the game across X or Blue Sky. I'm just giving my opinion on the game since I can only speak of the first few hours of the gameplay I have. But let's take a few steps back and at least talk about the dev cycle for a little bit. I'm sure you've heard the term Skyrim killer whenever someone memes on this title, and that was the initial pitch back in 2018. The devs agreed that would be the roadmap for what the game should be. The pitch was Skyrim meets Destiny because the devs wanted to create a multiplayer open world RPG, but since it got rebooted essentially twice during development, we didn't get the meat and potatoes of the original Avowed. Instead, we got only breadcrumbs, and Obsidian slapped the same label on it and acted like we wouldn't know this. And I give them props, you know. I swap labels whenever I walk into Costco. I try to buy a flat screen TV for the price of a milk jug. Diabolical work, but hey, whatever gets the job done, am I right? This game just genuinely confuses me because there's so much it wanted to do and just makes a lot of decisions that are so left field. Even though the game has some upsides, the combat feels good, the graphics look pretty great, there's the obvious downsides as well. The world feels static, NPCs do nothing when you swing at them, and it's just missing that extra pinch of exploration that could really make the game just pop, you know? For example, this game is an indirect spin-off of Pillars of Eternity. Even though it takes place in the same world, and events that transpire are directly influenced by Pillars of Eternity 2, they never decide to slap the label on the game for whatever reason. Weird idea to me, honestly. Just call it number 3, you know, and actually associate what your game devs built for you. But then again, Obsidian is owned by Xbox, and those guys wasted $500 million on the Halo Slipspace engine just to go use Unreal Engine 5. So Xbox making terrible business decisions, that's nothing new. Now, for the story structure, you spend the first hour or so of the game in the dark, narratively speaking, with no actual idea of who your character is or what the overarching narrative is supposed to be. You're just a godlike to an unknown god, and they apparently need your help while a magic foot fungus is out destroying the world. You're like the Dragonborn from Skyrim, except you're not born from dragons. You look like you're built out of athlete's foot, which is why all the default choices for your character have mushrooms growing out their heads, making you look like a walking STD. Except for me. That's my character right there. That's Avowed Bonkson. He is very beautiful. But the major point to the story is that it all feels very shoehorned. Character interactions are very bland, and to get any deeper lore, you have to read vocabulary cards every time a new word shows up that the world wants you to be familiar with. And Bungie did the same thing with Destiny whenever they wanted players to unlock lore books that tell you what's going on in the world as incentive for completing missions. And I'll have you know that I loved Destiny, but if you want me to read an encyclopedia's worth of information just to get a basic understanding of your story, I hate to say it, but you've got me fucked up. For an RPG like this too, it's just disappointing that there's no real hook for the first few hours of the game because they don't take the time to immerse you into the environment before they start throwing random story beats in your face. Like, everything felt like it had no correlation. They were telling me things, but nothing really flowed naturally. Like, if you really wanted to hook me into the story, just literally tell me what happened at the end of Pillars of Eternity 2. A god literally destroyed the wheel, the thing that causes reincarnation itself and connections to the gods in the world. You're sent to pillage the living lands in hopes of saving your empire, but they don't address a lot of that in the start beyond the beginning cutscene. Like, at the start of this game, you're meeting Papa Smurf and another NPC you might not see for the rest of the game, and everything is already set on a pre-existing path. Like, your character is already set on a mission for an empire you know nothing about to go take over another land you know nothing about, while there's a whole nother god in your head different from the one that rules your empire that, once again, you know nothing about. And Obsidian isn't known for making games like this. Fallout New Vegas hits the ground running. You can walk in almost any direction and trip your way back into the main overarching narrative. Outer Worlds gave the player so many choices that one of their endings was to give the player a lifetime supply of Purple Berry Crunch. Like, Obsidian has made games with good narratives and endless amounts of choices, but this game just is lacking in all those departments. So in short, the game sucks only because it's so mid. It's not terrible, it's not awful, it's just not a great game, which is very, very disappointing to say the least. But of course, that's just my take. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. And once again, you're an amazing human being. You deserve an amazing life. Go swap labels at Costco, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.